It's my birthday! Well, it was. And something did arrive in time, but then I had to wait for the right shade to be sent. And now I'm officially the same age as one of the most beautiful faces ever to grace the silver screen.
How old would you guess I am?
And I cannot believe, after years of gifts from Victoria Beckham, Not Such an Innocent Girl was released the day before my birthday. She launched Victoria Beckham Beauty the week of my birthday. She dangled the dream of the doco being released just in time for my birthday, and then took it back. Enjoy those fingers while you can, Vicky B. She did release the trailer mere hours before my birthday and a number of images from her upcoming Elle spread on my birthday. I can't believe I'm saying this, but guess what Victoria Beckham sent me for my birthday? Nothing. She sent me nothing. Fucking typical. You stole my smile, Vicky B! Now, I hadn't actually planned on getting these products, but quite a few of you messaged, followed, and DM'd. Apparently, I forgot to finish my sentence, but a whole bunch of you reached out saying you were going to wait to get the product till after you saw my review. And honestly, thank you for that. But also, screw you, because I didn't just get this, I got this. It's expensive. Firstly, I'll start with what can't be faulted, which is the customer service. They are very dedicated to getting you the correct color match, and if yours doesn't match, they will send you the right shade until it does. Now, before we get into the brush and foundation, I just want to note an interesting observation. If you followed Victoria Beckham Beauty for the last 3 weeks, you'll note the aggressive push in marketing that they've had for the foundation drops. So it's interesting that 3 weeks in, she would drop a collection based around her best-selling product, which is the Cocoa Satin Kajal Liner, which says to me that this isn't doing as well as Vicky B hoped. And now back to our regularly scheduled viewing. Victoria Beckham herself describes the foundation drops as, "We created the foundation drops for minimalists like me. The formula melts into my skin for a naturally flawless complexion and nourishes with Augustina Sparta's TCF8 technology as I wear it. This is the first foundation that feels like nothing, yet truly does everything. And with results topping at 100% sweeping across the studies, let's see if it lives up to the claims. Strap yourself in, we're going very deep, so it's going to be a long one." Like any Victoria Beckham Beauty product, there have been a sea of videos of Victoria claiming to be an XYZ girl, as she does with every product release.
I am a lip balm girl. I'm completely brow obsessed. I love eyewear. I wear it every single day. I love hand cream. I use hand cream every day. I've always been obsessed with lip balm.
And a never-ending line of rich people using her product, which I'll never understand. Not only can they afford it, and yes, people will buy what they see on a celebrity, but why not send it to your smaller, dedicated fans with quite a large fan base? It won't affect your luxury sales, and instead will reward these content creators for all the free marketing they've given you, which will ultimately turn around and ensure more sales. And to be clear, the fan base of these creators are more likely to become devotees of your brand as opposed to these rich celebrities who you just give it to for free. I mean, you even threw those assholes a free party, which is just gross. Now, what's odd is that when you signed up for early access to the foundation, that's all you got early access to. But why is this odd? Because they were marketing it with a brush. I waited a few days to order so I could get both, as I knew Vicky B would stagger the launch. But here's what really boils my piss. You get earlier exclusive access to her products at full cost. And after those devoted customers have handed over their hard-earned dollars, she releases bundle deals or discounts, much to the detriment of these devoted customers. Respect and loyalty goes both ways, Vicky B, and this highlights nothing more than how little you care for or respect your loyal customer base. Just saying. Now let's start off with the brush. The number 10 foundation brush appeared fuller in images, which is why I was less hesitant to buy it. It's not how it appears in images, and it's worth noting that in all of the promotional footage and at all of the events around this product, everyone was utilizing the number 12 buffer brush for application. How little this brush has been showcased over the last few weeks really had me worried. But here's where it gets interesting. When utilizing the number 12 buffer brush, as the product is so thin, much of it gets wasted as it gets trapped within the bristles, and at that price point, wasting the product is not what you want to do. It also doesn't offer a good finish, like it does with thicker products that you can really buff into and work into the skin. I would show you, but I don't have enough viewers to warrant wasting this shit. The flat foundation brush, however, and I hate to say it, as I famously hate flat foundation brushes, is like magic. Unlike flat foundation brushes from the past, this one is slightly bigger, which adds a level of flexibility, and the fibers and the density almost mimic a finger-applied application. As it lacks body heat and isn't absorbent, it allows products to go further without compromising on coverage. So you use much less product with a much better finish, and like the buffer brush with thicker bases, really does have a way of making the products perform longer, which is very strange. This brush really is like a larger version of the concealer brush, which I've done a full face with before, but more on that in my in-depth brush video. And now to the heart of the review, the foundation. I don't care, I'm always going to hold them upside down. I don't mean to, it just happens. Now, unlike other content creators, I'm not going to crawl up Victoria Beckham's ass in the hopes of getting free products. By the way, she's not sending them to you. We're going to discredit a lot of lies and fandom, so let's start with the obvious. To all the people who are blindly hating this product just because it's Victoria Beckham, or to all those blindly loving it just because it's Victoria Beckham, it's not. It's Augustina Sparta for Victoria Beckham. It's a collaboration. Yes, she creative directs elements, but it's his mastermind that's behind the product, namely the TCF8. So what is TCF8? TCF8, or Trigger Factor Complex 8, is a patented skin and hair health technology developed by Professor Augustina Sparta, based on over 30 years of stem cell research. research. Comprised of natural amino acids, peptides, and high-grade vitamins, TCF8 works to support the skin's innate potential for cellular renewal and repair. This is why this product costs so much more than her others. But it's still more cost-effective than buying her concealer or using his skin products alone. I'll also note that the conversion I showcased in my last video about the product had it coming in at just over $168, whereas she's selling this in Australia for $185. Look how small. With all that being said, I don't know how much I trust someone's anti-aging products who looks like this. Don't get me wrong, he's adorable, but it doesn't appear to be that he's drinking from his own fountain. Now, with it being an online business, how do we select the right shade? Luckily, there's a shade matching tool and a shade quiz available on the website. The only problem is, and I had this same issue with the concealer, that they're absolute trash. They are wildly off, and had I followed their suggestions, I would have been doing some form of blackface. I decided to match with my most used concealer shade from the brand, as each concealer has a correlating foundation match. This saw me match to shade 5, which was much more believable. Although it wasn't my ideal shade, it's still completely wearable, and let me explain why. Many people have begrudged the shade range, which in all honesty is actually very good. Through the brand's inception, Victoria Beckham has always placed a heavy stake on inclusivity.
The strong focus on inclusivity, with a strong focus on inclusivity. Being inclusive is very important for us at Victoria Beckham.
Being super inclusive is very important. Every single person, whatever skin tone you have.
And this is supported through her products and her product images. People need to remember two very important points. As it says on the bottle, this is a light coverage foundation. Think more of a BBCC cream. This affords you a lot more flexibility with each shade. She has also cleverly lent the majority of the shades to a neutral undertone. Teamed with it being sheer, we'll see it match a wider range of people, as everyone will fall into the warm, cool, neutral undertone. Secondly, unlike Fenty, and Rihanna is not the first brand to pioneer a wide shade range, she's simply the first celebrity to have done it, or any other brand with a wide shade range, Victoria Beckham Beauty is an independent brand with no parent company. So what does this mean? Less money being funded into the development and the production of products. Keeping this in mind, think of all the brands that have launched with 3 to 11 base shades, and you'll start to see what an incredible entry point this is. Now, there is room for debate where one can compare an independent brand like Victoria Beckham Beauty with another independent brand like House Labs, and their significantly wider shade range. But unlike Victoria Beckham Beauty, House Labs products are fuller coverage, meaning that more tones and more undertones need to be produced to cater to a much wider market. With that being said, there is also a significant issue with House Labs and their undertones aligning between foundation and concealer products. I mean, I myself can't even get a concealer in the brand. With House Labs having a notably cheaper production point, and for a brand that's only just started turning a profit, Victoria Beckham Beauty is actually doing really well with what they're offering. And now to the sea of lies! I can tell you right now that every review out there is a lie, so let's start addressing them. Let's start with the fragrance. Whew. Every review that I've watched has said that it has little to no scent. Put down the bag, love. The scent is strong. It's so strong it lingers for quite a while and is reminiscent of a combination between sunscreen and linalool. It does not blur or smooth the skin at all, quite the opposite. The first thing I noticed in all the reviews that I'd watched is how it enhanced texture, and now having used it myself, I can totally see why. Skin has texture. The product is so thin and has skincare in it. It has a luminous finish as mentioned on the bottle. This makes its way deep into the skin texture, and with the luminosity of the product, it does nothing more than accentuate every crack, ripple, and pore. As it says on the bottle, this is a light coverage, and I completely agree. When you build it up, it really does just sit on top of the skin and becomes nothing more than an oil slick. I cannot believe the amount of reviewers out there who are claiming that it has a natural luminous finish when we can see that it's just plain oily. Yet they will begrudge other brands with not even half the amount of luminosity as being too oily looking. The lies really need to stop, and people really need to stop believing what is said versus what they can straight out see. Just tell the truth. This product was clearly created for an older menopausal market, and Victoria herself says she creates exactly what she needs and what she wants to see in her makeup bag.
To create what I wanted in my makeup bag and what I desired, I had to do it myself.
But obviously it doesn't apply to all older markets. Most women in Victoria Beckham's age range don't have access to the beauty treatments she can and has afforded, but can and still will scrape together their dollars for this. And it really does nothing in visually celebrating or evening out the skin, quite the opposite as mentioned. So for someone with a history of extreme acne and scarring, and with the extremely light texture enhancing coverage that this product has, Victoria Beckham has clearly had a number of resurfacing treatments that many people cannot afford or simply don't want to do. Which brings us to application. Now I'm going to forego a primer because I want the TCF8 to have full access to my skin. And in all honesty, I'm never going to buy a primer. There's a myriad of much more effective skincare that you can utilize at a fraction of the cost. I'll apply the correct shade to the right side of my face and the wrong shade to the left side of my face, so you can see just how flexible this sheer coverage actually is. Victoria has been big about painting the product onto the skin.
But sometimes what I like to do is actually paint on my face and do some little dots under my eye, down this part of of my face, along my forehead, centre of the nose, and the chin. And then what I like to do is just with my fingers, just gently work the product in.
But this will just see you hemorrhage product. It's wasteful and it's expensive. Due to how fine the product is, it doesn't require body heat to get the best out of it, actually quite the opposite. It's stated that you have to mix the product to activate it. The product just separates due to the skincare in it. You simply need to mix the formula together. Now, it's not a big deal, and many products actually have this step. It simply highlights the clever wording and how it differs from the reality of the situation, and how it plays up to the effectiveness of a product, provided it's effective for you. Because people have asked on the brand's Instagram page, to which I answered because the brand ignored them, this product isn't going to be advisable for people with rosacea, as the oils in the product can exacerbate your condition. Instead, look for a product that is silicone or water-based, like the Pat McGrath Sublime Skin Finish Foundation, whatever it's called. For those suffering from eczema or psoriasis, however, this is going to be brilliant at hydrating the drier top layers of skin, with the peptides being able to penetrate a lot deeper. Now, unlike her concealer, this actually sets down really well with a powder, and realistically has to because of just how oily it is. I truly believe she'll be releasing a powder in the coming months to year, with her token claiming, I was always like a skin velvety finish girl or whatever. You can love Vicky B all you want, but you need to realize this is nothing more than a play on emotional marketing. When you emote or relate, you're more likely to end up purchasing the product. Remember a few months ago, she was always about a smoky eye, and that was her signature.
Smoky eye. Smoky eye. I love a smoky eye. I would say a smoky eye really is my signature look.
But now she's always been about clean and minimal makeup. It's worth noting that this, in person, is my exact match. Not on camera, apparently, but you can get an idea of just how friggin' oily it is. Now, she has stated that this product is for the minimalist, which means thinner layers. Victoria has stated that she is a massive fan of the application style of celebrity makeup artist Lisa Eldridge.
I work in such thin layers.
I was so pleasantly surprised.
And is a self-admitted student of experience.
You're always so kind and generous when offering advice and help, and I'm like a sponge.
And has said many times that the knowledge she obtained from these masters is what dictated her choices when developing her brand.
Is another tip that I have learned through working with the best
love a
makeup
straight
artist.
brow.
You did inspire me when I created my own skincare.
This means that even after powdering, you can actually go in with this wet product and touch up if you need to. Another lie we haven't tackled is that you cannot feel this product. This product is actually really heavy feeling on the skin, as anything that is laden with oils is going to be. You can even see just how it would feel heavy. And the more you wear it, and as your natural oils incorporate, you just kind of feel dirty and like you need to wash your face. That being said, those with dry skin, this may be a miracle product for you. But anyone above dry, pack your powder. Say it with me, pack your powder with you. Here are a couple of examples of me after one was 40 minutes of wear and the other one was an hour and a half. That's with a heavy powdering. And I have a face that doesn't get shiny. I sit very much in the normal range. Don't get dry, don't get oily breakout. Now, with all that being said, would I recommend this product? Now, we all know I'm a diehard Vicky B fan. She could just in my mouth and I'd ask for seconds. But being a fan doesn't mean lying about everything that someone releases. And as a foundation, sorry Vicky B, but this has missed the mark. I mean, is it worth the cost? Yeah, it might be for the skincare. And admittedly, my skin has been looking fantastic in the time I've been using it, but it still needs to do its job as a foundation, and ethically, I couldn't recommend it for that. At this price point, as is famous with her brand, a lot more needs to be ironed out before the cost can be justified.